With SketchUp, you can do a lot of things, obviously, and I'm just going to make a little booth here, which is, say, 3 meters by 2 meters. That's cool. And in human size, that's probably going to be pretty good. If I now just go to the top, so I'm doing this really quickly, it's very easy to make something which I think is about the right size for what I need. So imagine that's all meter, let's say 3 meters high. Okay. Maybe it's a bit too high, maybe 2 meters high. So 2 meters, right. So there we have a booth which a human fit in quite nicely. So I'm going to put some objects in there, and I'm going to use the 3D warehouse. So very quickly get models. I'm going to choose something that's going to be, let's choose human. Okay, or person. Right. Yeah, a whole load of very weird things. So I'm going to make sure that I want to choose that person. Looks, God, eating my Pac-Man, that's really weird. Soldiers, that's a person. Right, insert. Load to model, yes. So I'm going to put him there and then move into my zone. So I know this is about right. If I go front on, standard view, front, camera, parallel projection, get everything very straight on, we can measure how tall he is. Take measure tool from the bottom there to top there, 178 centimeters, which looks about right. That's cool. I'm going to put something else in there which can be a different scale. So, by the way, if you have parallel projection on, you need to start to move around, it looks a bit weird, so put perspective back, just so it looks nicer. So, back into the 3D warehouse, I'm going to choose something I know is bigger. Sewing machine. Now there's one in here which I've played with before, and I'm going to find it again. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Let's go for this. And hopefully it's moving far too big. Far too big. Yes, there we are. So we've got this Singer sewing machine. Now we've already shown quite clearly that the person there is 178 centimeters, so he is average height. We know the booth is 2 meters by 3 meters, that's the normal height for his show booth, and that is the mother of all sewing machines. It's far too big. So to get this to the right size, what we do is the scale tool, which is this guy at the top here. Now we can do it by eye quite easily by just selecting a green area and shrinking it down. And we can say move that into the booth, and then maybe rotate it around, so rotation tool, and again, just doing this very roughly. There's no particularly fine way of doing it here. Well, there are, but I'll come on to that in a second. So that's a little bit too big, so I can just take it down, and the scale there looks about right. So I can do it that way. I'll put it actually on the floor. Right. And then move back into the corner. Yeah. That's kind of cool. Getting on face can be a bit difficult. There we are. So what we could do otherwise, trying to get this actually right, it can be a bit fiddly with SketchUp, to be honest. This is on face, there we are. Actually that's now exactly the floor. What we can do is take a tape measure and go from the floor, so that point there, to the table, and we know that it's 71 centimeters high. Yeah, that's 7 centimeters high, and we want that to be exactly a meter because we've measured it. So parallel projection, camera standard views front, and yeah, we can see here what the problem is, but that's fine. So we can just draw a line from point there, going directly up by 1 meter. Right. So we want our desk to be in line with that. Now I'm sure there are other ways of doing this. If you know the height of things already, you can calculate how much you have to go up by using the scale. So if saying it's 68, we want to be 1, so 100 divided by 68 equals 1.47. So 1.45 gets you to about there. This is not quite right, so I'm just going to undo this. So yeah, that's now how it was before. So I can just select this. Whoops. I can select him and scale it, and that's going to be 1.47, and there it goes to that. So that should now read a meter if my calculations are correct. 1.28, I think I was measuring at 1 point. But yeah, so you can actually measure the item, so the final value divided by the value it actually is, and that will give you the ratio scale. So that, alternatively, is do it by eye and just kind of go, that looks about right. So it depends how accurate you want to be. The calculation one gets you more accurate. The by eye one is good enough for most situations. So you can just look around and go, that looks about right. But the important thing is to have some frame of reference, such as a person, and go, well, to the person it's right. Anyway, that's just a really quick overview of something to do with scales. I know it's incredibly rough, but I hope that's